Mm-hmm.
But, you know, all in all, I thought the story, especially when you got to the end, you know, it was pretty creative. And...
Oh, yeah, definitely. I thought the last part of the story was... It was really good. I really liked the final feats of the game, I guess.
Right. And of course, like, you still had, like in Sonic Adventure, you still had a lot of characters to play as, but... they were broken up into like two groups, you know, Hero and Dark.
Yeah, basically how it worked was there was a hero story and a dark story. Like as you go through these certain stories, you'll start out as one character and then you'll alternate to a different character for a different level. So you say you're playing as Sonic on one level, and then the next level you're going to be playing as Tails or Knuckles.
Right.
And it basically just keeps going until it's the end of the story.
And the thing was, this was the game that, I guess you would call it, gave us Sonic's first recaller, which was Shadow the Hedgehog.
Indeed, which in this game he was the best character ever. Like he was awesome.
His story was like really deep.
He was, even though he only had 4 levels, like everybody just loved him, and for some reason they still love him, even though he doesn't really play much of a part in the series anymore.
Right. And I guess that's, you know, that the reasons why they end up bringing him back, yeah. And, you know, eventually getting his own game.
Bringing back meaning that at the end of SA2, Shadow was supposed to die, which is, you know, they see him falling down to the planet, you know, assuming that he's dead, but
you know, because he would burn up in the Earth's atmosphere.
Exactly, but of course everybody loved him so much, so they had to bring him back.
And you know, it took 2 games to explain everything,
basically.
But anyways, you know, so the thing was with Sonic Adventure 2, of course, everyone had like their counterparts. Sonic and Shadow were the racing kind of deal. This time, at some point between SA1 and SA2, I guess Tails thought it was a good idea to turn his plane into like a leg crawling, shooting him up robot thing.
A freak.
But yeah, Tails and Eggman are both shoot 'em ups, kind of like Gamma, and of course Knuckles is treasure hunting, and this also brought in another new character, which was Rouge the Bat. You know, sexual content, kiddies, but
the biggest
yeah,
freak of nature ever.
Bat with boobs, who drives a car that looks like a peanut.
Oh no! So yeah, she's basically Knuckles and Rouge share the treasure hunting levels, which, as we said earlier, the radar is pretty broken in that game. So
right.
Out of all of them, treasure huntings are my least favorite levels.
Yeah, especially for both of their last levels as Knuckles and Rouge.
Both of their last.
Mad Space and
yeah,
the other one that was in space.
Yeah, and like to be honest,
God.
I would have preferred if Knuckles and Rouge's levels, they were more puzzle based, like on the last story, like Cannon's Core, how they had you just like find switches and like they had to drain the liquid or whatever. Like I would have preferred that, because that was more enjoyable than just, you know, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and it was just like their levels, especially their last levels, were so big, you know, more open than
exactly,
you know, Knuckles' SA1 levels.
Meteor Herd.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking Meteor Herd. Meteor Herd was like...
It's enormous. It is ridiculous to find 3 small...
Yeah, the width and latitude of that whole place. Oh my god. But anyways, get off that topic. You know... What did you think of the music in Sonic Adventure 2?
There's a lot of really memorable tracks. City Escape.
Yeah, I found City Escape and both Metal Harbor and Green Forest. You know, the beat to those songs were really good.
Yeah, those are probably the ones that stand out the most. But for me, I don't know about you, but for me, like a lot of the tracks, they really just blend together. They're kind of a lot of the same, really.
Right.
It's all just kind of like, rock, guitar. Because this was the first. Was this the first game that Jun Sonoy was sound director in, or was that a different one?
You kiddies better look that up for us.
Well, anyways, yeah, Jun Sonoy was sound director in this game, and you can obviously tell because his guitar is up the hizzle whizzle.
I know, like everyone had like their own theme.
Yeah.
For But
basically, the weakest tracks for me were the shoot 'em up levels.
All right, like what was Eggman's? More electrical, technical. It fit him, but
Tails and Eggman they sounded a lot of the same to me. Like Rouge was all jazzy,
more passionate. When I would hear, okay, I would start playing Dry Lagoon, right?
Yeah.
The music I'm starting to hear, I feel like I'm about to watch a porno.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this?
But yeah, Rouge's music is generally really chill jazz, I guess, and Knuckles for some reason has rap, I guess.
Well, yeah,
Art in the stereotype. But Sonic and Shadow, they're really upbeat, kind of rock. I guess Sonic has more ska than rock, I guess.
Yeah, Sonic's more, good, ongoing, more hip, happy in a way, where Shadows was more down,
more metal sounding,
deep, yeah.
So it fit in that regard.
But let's see. I guess we'll talk about what story now.
Story was. The thing was,
Sonic did a bad thing.
Yeah, Sonic did a bad thing. Basically, what happened at the beginning is that everybody thinks that Shadow's Sonic, and Shadow's doing all these bad things because he's a bad guy. And so Sonic's getting blamed for this for some reason, even though that Sonic looks the completely opposite of Shadow. He's black, his spikes are up, and he looks menacing, and Sonic doesn't. But anyway, Sonic gets blamed, and he's running from the police the entire game. Well, at least half of the game. Did they ever realize that it wasn't Sonic that was doing that?
No.
No?
You gotta remember.
It's just...
The gun force wasn't the greatest.
No, definitely not.
SWAT team, I guess you would put it.
But yeah, basically, the rest of the story is pretty basic. The dark side's doing their thing, the hero side's doing their hero thing. And,
well, that was also something. Wasn't Sonic Adventure 2 the first time you could play as Eggman?
Yes, and it was the first time you could actually be the villain, I guess. The villain team, which was pretty cool, I guess.
But yeah, but with Shadow, he's older than you think he is.
Yeah.
He would, I guess technically he's 50 years old.
He's an old man.
But of course he was sent down to Earth, and of course Eggman awakened him on Prison Island, and Shadow made a promise to someone, which you find out is Maria, and that how at first it was the promise he was going to take revenge on all the humans down there.
That's because Maria was Shadow's only friend, and she was killed when the military, I guess, they... Why did they shut down Gerald's research? Just illegal?
I guess it was because it was more... I guess it could have been more threatening to the Earth than helping it.
Yeah, I guess it was they were afraid of power, that he might use it in a bad sense, so... Which he tried to do.
They might have been afraid he might have gone nuts or something.
Yeah.
But
which he did at the end.
Yeah. Knowing to make a freaking cannon in a freaking meteor. But yeah, you learn later, after we go into space and things like that, and you'll find out about how was Shadow just the prototype of the ultimate weapon?
No, Shadow is the ultimate weapon.
Okay, Shadow is the ultimate. So that makes
the Bio-Lizard
the bad guy at the end, or the bad creature at the end, I guess you would call it,
the Bio-Lizard.
The prototype.
The Bio-Lizard?
Yeah, fuck you, Bio-Lizard. I had so many times to beat you when I was 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. You see, I'm probably one of the very few people that likes that boss. I don't know. I just love I love the music and the atmosphere. It's just really creepy, and it just
right.
works.
I like the music too, and I've managed after so long. Because in the past it took me like 50 times to get through the Bio-Lizard. Now it might take like 2 or 3 times. But like he's not that bad. It's when first you just run until he like runs out of breath. Grind up his life support tube, I guess you'd call it, and then hit his life support. Because I remember I told my grandma that I killed a dinosaur on life support. And then of course, like most bosses, they'll use more powerful attacks like my Shadow Ball attack, blah blah, dodge these, and you would have to either like jump up in the air or like do a barrel roll, and you keep on doing that, and then he'll like summon these pink bubble things, and that's when it gets a little hard for me. But the hard part is for when you're going to hit him for the last time, when gravity like takes effect or whatever, and you're floating up there and you're trying to position your person to freaking get to it, but if you get hit, then it's all over pretty much. Yeah,
basically when you're in the air, there's pink bubbles everywhere, and you have to just navigate your way through them and find a path so that you can hit his weak spot. But it can be really hard to do that sometimes.
And I found out for the 3DS version of Generations, when Sonic fights the Bio-Lizard, when it gets to that part, the whole pathway, it is a pathway. They actually make a pathway for Sonic.
Yeah, I think it's
I was like, I'm calling bullshit on that.
I think they turn it into a 2D section, actually.
But, anyways, you finally you defeat the Bio-Lizard. Everyone gets where the copy of the Shrine of the Master Emerald's at.